Hi everybody and welcome to this Pro and Expert playthrough. All 9 holes for the Open Tournament, the 9-Hole Cup 2021. It is of course a full 9 of the Porthello Cove, which is one of the more challenging courses we have in the game. We're going to look at each of the 9 holes in turn. I'm going to put some replays up on the screen, talk you through my adjustments and also some alternatives as well. On a couple of holes we do give you a couple of different wind angles so you can start to plan ahead on the approaches that you're going to be most likely taking later on this week. Before we get started, don't forget to hit thumbs up on the walkthrough, will be much appreciated, and please make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. Tell your friends about the content here on the channel, links in the video description down below. And good luck to everybody if you are playing in the Open 9-Hole Cup over on Porthello Cove this week. Let's get started by looking at hole number 1. Alright then, starting off with some cross tailwind here on hole number 1. So I'm going to go with the quarterback. Obviously if you do have the rock or a quarterback 10, go with that, something that gives you a little bit more topspin. I've got QB9 here, so I'm playing with 3.9 bars of topspin, which is max, and then 1 bar of right spin. A little bit more topspin, like I say, is useful though if you do have it. Max plus 10 is the adjust, and unless you're really playing with a load of tailwind, then I'm just going to lay up really. There is a blast option here, but of course you do risk the rough here, so this one is a layup. We do hit a minor great ball, but with the accuracy of the quarterback, or indeed the rock, it's going to be fine. Obviously, if we do have headwind, then the extra mile or something with more distance will be needed. Otherwise, you will of course be adjusting and have to go with max overpower with the quarterback. So anywhere around there, maybe a bit further if we can, is fine. Second shot, I judge club distance as best as can. So I find minimum line and then maximum line with my club, then work out where I'm going to land and estimate whereabouts I am in terms of min and max. Here I work this out to be around medium distance, so I'm applying spin, getting the ball guide just to the front of the cup because we do have a little bit of tailwind. Mistake I make here is this one is slightly over adjusted, so I'm playing this mid minus 10. This shot, even though it looks downhill, actually plays with an uphill elevation, and I didn't have a great pull angle, so we do hit the rough a little bit to the right and a bit high, but still a very good first look at this one. So that was minus 10 medium distance. Hole number 2, we're going to show you 2 shots here. The first one is with direct headwind, so I'm going to bounce before the rough. A couple of bars top spin, and I am playing with 3 bars side spin to the right. As you can see, moving there is a little fringe glitch here that you can see with the ball guide when I was moving backwards and forwards, and that is a danger here that you will sometimes catch a glitch roll on the fringe. This hole is a little bit tricky, by no means the most difficult of the par 3s, but it still does have some challenging moments. This one I'm playing medium distance, 10% elevation, so it's equivalent to 1-on-1. And as with pretty much all shots on this hole, we are going to have to go with some right curl as well. And of course that does make the par 3 a little bit trickier when you have to use curl. We are coming in with a lovely speed here, just need a little bit adjustment on the curl on that one. We do have any element of tailwind. I'm going to bounce directly beyond the rough as shown here. And we can play with backspin, which will obviously just be able to control the shot a bit better. We do need a power 2 ball though. So I'm at max distance with the power 2 ball, playing there with a good amount of backspin and some side spin to the right. The adjustment here, I play maximum distance, 10% elevation. So max plus 10. And then we are going to take our shot here. Not using any curl with this one, I'm just letting the wind do the trick and the right spin that I have on the ball as well. And this is all about trying to find a decent spot to bounce. Again, anything this close I'm very pleased with. Just have a look in practice, spend a few tokens, get yourself dialed in for the tournament. Hole number 3, APOC is a really good advantage on some of these holes. So obviously a lot of expert players will have the APOC. Maybe not all pro players though, so you're just going to have to do what you can with your club level. Going with 3 bars side spin to the left, as well as the top spin that you could see there. And then I'm adjusting max plus 10, and I am going to push back up to max, and that's because I do want some distance here as well. Going with full curl to the left with the APOC level 4, and I've got room for a little bit of overpower as well, so that's what I do add on. Perfect ball, you can see we were still quite far away from the end of the fairway, but the problem here with not having full curl available, we don't want to go too long, and it's very, very easy to roll too long into the rough, so do be mindful of your topspin here. Second shot either going to be max distance with the long iron or minimum distance sniper. With only a power 2 ball and the distance of my drive, I am in between clubs here, so I decide to push up a little bit from the long iron and go with the sniper instead. Putting spins on as needed to aim and use the ball guide, get that nice and close to the pin. Minimum distance 15% elevation is what I go with here, because we do have some crosswind. Obviously the elevation numbers are going to vary depending what you're dealing with and how you set up your shot in terms of the ball guide. Problem here though, I had a little bit of accidental overpower on the shot and a little bit too hot in terms of where I was setting up, but very good line there. Minimum distance 15. Hole number 4, we do have an eagle to show you here, and this wind is the optimum wind direction here. Anything headwind related does get tricky. Whatever wind you're dealing with, get clubs with backspin. So the Guardian for your wood club, the Saturn is good for the long iron, and definitely pack the Thorn. And for your rough iron, in case you don't make it out of the rough, then pack the Machete. 6 topspin, 2 right spin. If you have more topspin, go with it. Max plus 10 was the adjustment, pushing back up to max. In this wind strength, I do have room for a couple of rings of overpower, so I add that on, and then I go with my curl. And here we want to either do 2 bounces or a third bounce and try and roll out of the rough. Sometimes you will roll out, sometimes you won't, but for me it is worth a go. Second shot, I'm thankfully in thorn range here, so I'm going to go for the max backspin draw shot. Working out my club distance as best I can, and I'm estimating that I am between mid and max, so here I'm going to be playing around 75% slider. Max backspin, in the end I decide to put half a bar of side spin to the left so I can pass the pin on the right, and then just use the spin to kick the ball back into the cup for a hopeful eagle. So I'm playing 0 elevation, 75% slider, thereabouts, which is going to give me 2.9 or 3 rings. I'm pulling over the bullseye, and then I'm hoping to hit perfect, which we do. The reason we want the Machete on the rough iron here, in case we don't roll out, is you will have backspin to control the second shot. There we go though, dropped it very nicely for an eagle. Okay, nasty wind on hole 5, and if you do get direct headwind on these, they aren't pleasant, and there's no 2 ways about it. So going with the APOC, plenty of top spin, 3 right spin. This course does tend to eat kingmakers, I'm afraid, so be prepared. Max plus 10 is the adjust. We need a good amount of overpower, so I'm playing almost, looks like max overpower. And 3/4 ball curl to the right. Do hit a great right here, but it's still going to be fine with the club accuracy that we do have. And we want to bounce over there and roll as far as we can. If you do have higher clubs or with more topspin, put the topspin on and try and gain as much distance as you can. Here, with the headwind, might have been better going with the 180 yard wood club, but we are still in this wind strength going to reach with the sniper. So here I am using some topspin, offsetting the ball guide past the hole because of the headwind push that we're going to get, and also slightly to the right. The adjustment I make here, I actually go max plus 15 on this one, but we just over adjusted this one slightly. Again, the elevation is going to vary depending on the wind direction and how you set up your shot. So just use your experience and judgment as best you can. Still, we get this one fairly close, but we're securing the eagle, and in this wind direction I'm very, very happy with that. Hole number 6, this par 3 is an absolute nightmare, and the chances, to be quite honest, of a hole in one, very, very slim. For me, this is just a birdie hole, especially when it's a mini. Just take the birdie and move on. No point wasting a load of practice tokens trying to get dialed in on a hole that plays so much downhill. 2 to 3 bars of backspin for the bounce over, 2 left spin. Adjustment here, max plus 45. In level crosswind you can do a driver rough bump, and in headwind you are going to have to bounce on the fairway to the bottom right of the green with backspin with the driver, that is in headwind. But all of these shots play massively downhill. 40% elevation is a must as a minimum. Okay, hole 7, 2 shots to show you here. We do have a headwind one here, and of course we love tailwind, but sometimes you're going to get some headwind angles. Max plus 10, going with the top spin and 3 bars left spin always here, and we're going to go max overpower and max curl to the left. 8.1 in wind, so it could be stronger, but it could be less as well. Here we are bouncing nicely. We do clip the rough and roll out, but I didn't record the second shot, but we were still in range, and I played an end bringer school there at about 100% slider, 20% elevation, and it dropped nicely. So even in headwind, you do need to be getting an eagle on this hole. Here is a cross tailwind version here, again going with top spin, a little bit less because of the tailwind, but still going with 3 bars side spin to the left. Red ring just away from the rough on the left, and max plus 10 is the adjustment here. I push up a little bit on this one, and again going with plenty of curl to the left. Minor great ball to the right, and you will see we are lucky with this one. We do clip the rough, but we do get a very lucky rollout. Perfect ball, of course, won't be endangering the rough, and we're leaving a very, very nice eagle wedge on that one. That is a must eagle. Now this par 3, again, very difficult to get a hole in one. Tailwind and crosswind, I like the NMT, the no movement shot here, so I'm playing with 4 backspin and also some side spin to the left. This one is very wind angle dependent. If you are going to spend a couple of tokens, this would be a very good hole. You will see a lot of people get the speed or the adjustment wrong, or the offset, and then end up in the rough or the sand, and then you're fighting to try and save one for a birdie, and you will see a lot of people get par here. Max plus 20 is the adjustment on this one. And then all we need to do really, because this green is sloped like a turtle shell, you've got that ridge down the centre. If you are off and you have too much pace, you will easily roll into the rough. So for that, I'm fine here. Obviously, we could have gone a little bit less on the backspin, but the line was very good with our max plus 20. Finally, on to hole 9. We are going to go with top spin and right spin here. Once again, the Apocalypse is nice here, although you don't need a lot of curl. So extra mile, Thor's hammer, also good alternatives. Max plus 10 is the adjust. Then we do adjust into overpower with this nasty wind angle, so we are applying the overpower plus a little bit more. Half a ball of curl to the right. Perfect away. Make sure we clear the rough. Very easy to over curl this one, and you'll see there the margins are quite tight, but we do get a very nice drive down onto the fairway here on the left hand side. 355 yards. Second shot, unless you know you're going to have tailwind, play with a wood club with distance. I'm going with 5 top spin here, and I'm just going to aim here almost at max, giving myself a bit of room to adjust. Adjustment here is max plus 0. And then we're going into overpower even with this wind. So a little bit of overpower and 1 ball of curl to the right. We do hit a minor great left here, so we are obviously going to approach the pin from the left, but we're still going to be fine, and we are securing the eagle. Obviously a perfect ball would have got us nicely onto the fringe or even the green, but in this wind angle I'm happy with an eagle. Thank you for watching and good luck in the tournament. See you soon.